Welcome back, part 8. So we're back on the Dronsfield Bros DB Swallow hand mower full restoration. So the last video was not on this machine. You might have seen it. It was on the devil of a chainsaw. So haven't really done a lot with this, but made a little bit of progress since the last video on this, which was we reground the cutting cylinder and sharpened the bottom blade. So since then I've been doing a little bit more red oxiding. The handlebars, they've had 2 coats of red oxide. The the bearing side cover, that's had 2 coats of red oxide. The gear cover, 2 coats of red oxide. And what else? Oh yes, yeah, the roller brackets, both of them were a little bit bent, so I've heated them up and straightened them as best as I can, and 2 coats of red oxide. So reasonably busy with that. So today I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and get the cutting cylinder back together, the gear on the cylinder, and then we're going to have a look at the paint. I've been out and got some green paint. I haven't opened it up yet, and I'm hoping it's fairly close. It looked it, but we will see. I've left I've left the original paint on the gear cover, which is very dark, or quite a dark green. So I'm hoping this tin of paint I've got is fairly close to that, but we'll see. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. I think I'm going to get you in. We're going to have a look at this cylinder, see if we can get this back together. Quite how easy that gear is going to go back in there since I've repaired it, I don't know. Might need a bit more fettling, who knows. But we'll get stuck on that, and then we'll move on to a bit of paint work. Let me get my glasses, get you zoomed in, and then we'll have a good look. Let's have a look. So let's get you down a bit. I think you can. Yep. Good. Right. I think you've got a bird's eye view there. So yes, the cutting cylinder. I think. Well, we did a video on the bearings are in there. Got one in there. One on the other side. I fitted the little cap with the pin going through that side. And it rotates nicely, feels nice and smooth. So I think all we need to do is put some grease in that bearing and then get that gear on, and then the little stop on the end there. What this cylinder has got, I haven't needed to touch it, and I don't think I'm going to bother, but I don't know whether you can see. There's a little screw that end, and you can see it. Also there. Now I haven't adjusted them, but almost certainly what they're for is when you've got your bearings in, to take out any end float you've got on the shaft. The smallest amount's always quite good, but this runs nice and freely, and it doesn't feel like there's any end float, so I'm going to leave them well alone. But I think if there was a bit of excessive movement, I could probably tighten one or the other up. Obviously presses on the bearing and get rid of that end float. So, but I don't think I need to touch those. But it's a nice little touch if you need to. Just allows you to take up the slack. Right. So I think what we'll do is we will put this little end on here, which is the bit that it locates when you drop the cutting cylinder into the side frame it locates. So again, we've got this pin, and you can see the little cunning little slot, the groove that it's got to go into. So I'll try and knock that in. Just going to try tapping it through whether it will, otherwise. Let's just try the other way. Sometimes with these things there's only one way it will go, but at the moment I've got a little bit of wire I can just poke through there, or something like that, and then just get it lined up. I want a little bit of wire, or what have I got? I've got a very, very thin pin punch. Let's see whether that will do. Yeah, that might do. Right, so I've got a little pin punch there. If I can line it up. Turn the shaft. The other way then. Oh, that's a bit better. So it's gone in. It's gone in there, the punch, fairly well. So let's just see if that will knock through now. Fairly tight. It looks like it's going in a little bit pissed. There we go. It is. Right, let's knock it out again. So obviously I've not quite got something lined up, so let's straighten it up and have another go. Ideally, I suppose I'd put a new one in. Right, let's have another go. end up in a minute having to get a new roll pin, which I don't think I've got one here to hand, but let's try once more. I don't think this is actually a roll pin, it's a little solid pin. Not terribly hard. Just try a little bit of copper slip on there, see whether that helps it. Helps it in a bit. It should be going in because it's yeah. Try another, have another go. I think I'm going to rest this on the vise and then see whether that gives me a little bit. Good. Right. So I think we're in there. Bring you back round again. That still rotates nicely. Right, now let's have a look at the sprocket end. So I need to grease that bearing. Let's have a look. Let's grease it. So let's get a bit of grease in there. I mean, the odd thing about this mower is when you look how nicely it's made, there's no provisions for greasing these bearings, so I suppose if you don't do it now, you're not gonna be able to grease them. So the other one, obviously, before I put that little cap on, I did grease that one, but this one I haven't. Generous with it, as it probably won't get any for a long time. Into the balls. I think that's fairly well greased. Good. Right. So we've got the similar setup this end. There's my sprocket gear, and it's got the little notch in it. So when I hopefully bang the pin, it will hold it in there tight. So I haven't put this in here yet, so I don't quite know how good it's going to go in there, but we can only try. And if it doesn't go in easily, I've got to obviously just fettle it a bit more and grind a little bit off. Getting that slot lined up. Right, let's see whether that looks like it might. Okay. I'd say maybe a little bit more. Let's give it another little tap. Be fairly close. Right, okay, so let's see if we can get that pin through. Let's put our pin. Nearly come out the other side. Good. So we're in there. So let's see if the shaft still rotates nicely. So yeah, we'll see how that goes once we've got it in the side frame. Hopefully the gear will mesh and there won't be any problems there. With the cutting cylinder, that's going to be red. I've had a bit of a look round, and I rather like this dark red. It's obviously a cellulose. It's an R3094. Pretty sure I used that red on the Follows and Baits hand mower, but I think a nice dark red on that cutting cylinder, it will do it justice. So now then, let's have a look at this green. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. I expect you'll probably know fairly soon. Let's open it up and have a look. What do we want? Let's see. Right. Give it a stir. Right, so I'm going to get you in. We'll have a look. So, let's get that. Just going to put a little dob on there and then see. Looks like. Not quite sure what those red spots are for on that gear case, but. Brush or something, let's have a look. I don't think that's too far out. Nice dark green. And you probably know by now what it is. Let me swing it round. There we go, British Racing Green. I quite like that. It's as sort of close as I can get. There's a motor factors that, or a paint factor, should I say, that's not too far from me. No doubt I could probably get it a little bit closer if I went down there. They've got a good chart, but I managed to get that, and it looks nice and dark. And I think, no doubt the paint experts will correct me, but I think when it dries, it'll probably be a little bit darker than that. But it's a nice colour, and I think it looked great in that. So we're going to just try a little bit on there. We're going to get a little bit of paint on the, I think we'll probably put a little bit on the thrower plate, and then just see what that looks like. So let's get me a brush. Let's have a look. Out the way. Seems to be going on quite nicely. Not quite sure on this mower. It's probably that sort of age when it could have been. It could have been either. I guess it could have been sprayed on there, the paint from new, or possibly brushed. Not really sure. I suppose it depends on how up to date they were. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look. We'll get you round. Good. Right. Well, I'm not going to bore you with painting the mower, or we could speed it up, but I think it's something I'm going to probably do in the next week or so. Ideally, I want to get 2 coats on it, and then I'll be quite happy to start putting it together. Obviously, I've got the cut and cylinder to do as well, so there's quite a bit of painting to do, and I think this type of paint is going to take. It's going to take a good 2 or 3 days to dry properly, so I'll probably have to leave it that long before I can do the second coat. So there's a fair amount to do, but I shall hopefully get that done, and we will do another video probably before Christmas, and it might be that we can start assembling things if I've got on well with the painting. So yeah, see what you think. And I hope you like the colour. I think it's fairly close. It's yeah, it's a nice colour. I think it looked good. Red cutting cylinder. Anyway, a fairly short video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will probably see you on the next one, which, like I say, hopefully before Christmas. Yeah, if I've got my act together and got the second coat on. Anyway, if it isn't, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy Christmas. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the videos, and if that is the case, then I will see you after Christmas. Thanks again.